Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, 4D. Good evening, Viv.
Good evening, 40. Good evening, Bones.
It is Thursday, the 28th of May, 2026. Storm in the Teacup, episode 66. Are we recording? Just
We are, sir. We are. Yes.
right, good. Just a few little things about number 66, which have come to my attention. First thing is Route 66, the famous Route 66.
Yeah.
Which is obviously the highway, the US highway, which is passed into folklore now, isn't it? Route 66.
Why is that one so famous? Like, what is that? Does it go from one side of the country to the other, or something?
Yeah, it goes from Chicago all the way across to California. And I think it became famous because it was like one of the main highways for a lot of people moving west in the 30s. I think it was first built in the 30s, and a lot of people, because that was it was like the Depression, Great Depression. So it became like a route for a lot of people moving, trying to find work, relocating, I think. And
loads of songs about it.
Oh yeah, one song in particular, Get Your Kicks on Route 66. For an extra point, can you name who originally sang that? Without looking it up.
No, I'm not looking it up.
I don't know.
Bob Dylan? No, earlier than that.
I'm going my way. Is that the one?
Get Your Kicks on Route 66.
Yeah. Oh, that one.
Yeah. Okay. Originally sung by Nat King Cole.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
According to that one, would be my guess.
No, me neither.
The golden voice.
According to Shittypedia, that is 19. It was written by a guy called Bobby Troop, 1946. And first recorded by Nat King Cole. Sorry.
Right.
Later became a standard, performed by numerous artists across many genres. Also had a television series, Route 66, and also was immortalized in the novel The Grapes of Wrath, John Steinbeck, in 1939.
Oh, yes.
Which portrayed westward migration along US 66 during the Dust Bowl, referring to it as the Mother Road, a phrase that became closely associated with the highway. That's the kind of most of the most famous references to it.
Yep.
I know a very.
Go on, one of you.
I know a really weird fact that, and it's either evens or odd numbers, but all evens go left to right, and all odds go north to south. Sorry, and west to east. So if Highway 66 goes north to west, east and west, then I'm guessing all of the odd numbers go up and down. Then.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think I've seen something like that as well. And Route 66 does go east west, although it kind of starts off further north. It starts off up in Chicago, which is right up in the Great Lakes, in Illinois. So it kind of comes down south first of all. It actually goes through where is it? Illinois, which is where Chicago is, obviously. And it goes through Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and then ends up in California.
Yeah.
But
my question is, if Steinbeck wrote Grapes of Wrath before Route 66 was built, then Grapes of Wrath I believe it's late 30s was written. I have read it.
1939, yes. Well, I believe Route 66 was came before that, around 1930, I believe, is when it was first.
Okay, yeah. A lot of that stuff though is in the Steinbeck novel. It's really dusty, so I don't really know if it was. He does highlight the dustiness of it all.
Yeah, here you go. It was one of the original highways in the United States numbered highway system, established on November the 11th, 1926.
Oh, there you go. Well, of
Oh,
course it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't remember that detail from the novel, which I read a while ago.
Right.
A very enjoyable novel and a very interesting film, actually, with Henry Ford, I think, is in there.
Henry Fonda, you mean?
Fonda, yeah. Henry Ford wouldn't have
I guess
been in it.
Henry
Or maybe,
Ford, he would have got in one of his cars and driven it,
yeah,
wouldn't he?
yeah. No, Henry Fonda, of course, Henry Fonda, and a few others. Very, very interesting film.
I suppose when that was made, when that was written, Route 66 didn't quite have the notoriety that it has these days. It is legendary now, isn't it? Route 66.
Oh yeah,
mm.
definitely.
And I suppose back in those days, I mean, he 26. It was established, and he wrote that in 39. So it's only 10 or so years after it was built that he wrote
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
Quite a few
yeah.
American horror movies take Route 66 as the kind of main theme of their film. I can think of a couple that I'm not really a horror fan myself. I don't watch them, but I know of a couple of horrors that
Yeah,
are on that highway.
yeah.
Yeah, so there was that. On the 24th of June, 1975, Eastern Airlines plane, flight number 66, crashed in New York, Jamaica, New York,
Oh,
where 107 passengers died and 6 crew members also died.
bloody hell.
Yeah. There's kind of like a 666 in there and a 17 in there as well,
Oh,
if you read anything into that.
mhm.
See what else we got here. Route 66 on 66 is the smallest abundant palindrome.
Oh yes.
Now I'm not sure what they mean by abundant palindrome, but I'm kind of guessing because if you look at it numerically, you might say that 11 is the smallest palindrome because it's
Mm,
less than 66.
mm,
But when you write them out in words, in letters, 66 is the shortest. I know
mm.
11 would be the shortest, wouldn't it? Sorry, what am I talking about? That's nonsense. I retract that. So, yeah, apparently, according to this, it's the smallest abundant palindrome, but I don't know what that means.
Well,
I was going to
yeah,
ask what a palindrome was.
something
It's
that
the
reads the
same.
same. Yeah,
Go on, Viv.
it's something that reads the same if you read it forwards or backwards.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that makes no sense to me at all then, yeah.
Well, if you read,
It doesn't matter which way round you write 66, it's still going to be 66. Whereas if
Oh,
you
just
say,
as two numbers. Sorry, gotcha.
yeah, if
yeah,
you read
yeah.
it from the back, if you read it from the second number or letter, it's exactly the same as the first number or letter.
But
When
I still agree with Bronze that 11 must be then the smallest.
yeah,
No,
so
because no, it's not, because when you write it out in words, 11 is not a palindrome. The word 11.
no,
Oh, yes, I see what you're saying. Gotcha. Yeah.
I see. 66. But 66 isn't a palindrome either when you write it out.
No, I suppose you don't reverse the 66. Well, yeah, see, no, none of that makes 66. That's not
I
the
don't
same at
Yeah,
all.
I don't
it's not
understand then. What about 22 then? 22, 11?
22. I mean, but as words, as written words, none of them are palindromes.
No, they
It's
aren't,
only
are
the,
they?
Right,
only the
Bronze, that was
numbers.
crap. Yeah, that
What?
was crap, Bronze.
Mm.
What?
You brought that up for 66. I'm saying flat
All
out, no,
right,
that's
okay. All right, moving swiftly on. You don't appreciate.
crap.
Okay, the Bible consists of 66 books. How's that one for you?
Yeah.
And
Very good.
has about 1 million words. So it's a bit vague on the actual words, but yeah, 66 books the Bible has.
Okay.
Now, yeah, that's controversial in itself because it depends which Bible I guess you're
Yeah.
talking about. So you're talking about
Yeah.
our Bible.
I know, yeah. So that's a whole discussion about books being removed and this, that, and the other. Okay, here's one I think you might appreciate a bit more, 4D. In Star Wars, Order 66, which is also known as
Very good.
Clone Protocol 66, was a top secret order identifying all Jedi as traitors to the Galactic Republic and therefore subject to summary execution by the Grand Army of the Republic. There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for that one. I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Oh yeah, 1966 was the last and the only year in which England won the Football World Cup.
Of course.
And of course,
Yeah.
the World Cup is about to take place this year, next month, in fact, in June, co-hosted by the USA, Canada, and Mexico. So, at which England are at, and that'll be exactly 50 years after England won it. So,
yeah.
That's
Wow.
Number 66, Mario Lemieux, were a famous ice hockey player, wore the number 66.
By the way, it's 60 years since 1660. Since,
oh, yes, sorry. Yeah, my mistake, 60. Thank you, Viv. 60 years. And finally, last but by no means least, the chemical element in the periodic table that has the atomic number 66 is dysprosium, the symbol dy.
Dysprosium, did you say?
Dysprosium.
Dysprosium, right.
What does this mean? What does this all mean? All these unknown elements. What is all this?
I have no idea. But
well, that's
I'm
the
guessing
elements that make up our planet.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I understand things like iron and gold, silver, mercury, but these new ones, or these obscure ones, I have no idea what prosium is.
It's dysprosium, yeah.
Dysprosium.
Yeah, well, see, those have been in the periodic tree for a long old time. Well, since who came up with the periodic tree?
Periodic table. Don't know.
Table, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. This is something I might look into actually, because this does quite interest me. Also, another thing, just talking about palindromes, trying to find out what abundant palindromes were a bit earlier on. Did lead me onto a list of palindromes, and there's some crackers in there, I've got to say. There are some great palindromes, really good. And that's quite an interesting subject on its own. But
go on, give us a couple.
Oh, I have to get the page up now. I haven't got it.
Don't worry. Yeah,
maybe another time, or a bit later on. I might pull it up when I have a moment. So yeah, number 66. So over to you, 4D.
Yeah, lovely. Yeah, cheers for that. This day in history, so the 28th of May, starting off at 1588, King Philip II dispatches the Spanish Armada from Lisbon, Portugal, to invade England.
Oh yeah. Okay.
On this day, is it? Wow. Okay.
This day, in 1588.
Yeah.
How did that work out for him?
Oh, sorry, say again.
Nothing. I just say, how did that work out for him?
Right. Yeah. Really well. Yeah, really well. This day, I found this one very interesting. This day in history, 1936, Alan Turing submits the uncomputable numbers for publication, in which he sets out the theoretical basis for modern computers.
Oh.
1936, someone wrote a paper which pretty much explained modern computing. Again, another very interesting one, if you ask me.
Yeah,
well, he didn't he? Was it Bletchley Park, Station X, the code breakers in World War II? Didn't he actually create a computer to try and break the Enigma code? I believe, and it was a massive, like, filled a room. It was a huge thing, filled a whole room, and was. And apparently was reasonably successful, I think.
Yeah, they did a film about it. I think Cumberbatch was in it, I think.
Yeah.
Next one along the journey of history is this day in history. In 1937, Neville Chamberlain becomes Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
Oh.
1937.
Lasted
Then
a
more,
couple of years.
yeah. I didn't. Did he do Chamberlain? Did he do just the 2 terms?
Oh, he didn't even do one term.
No.
He was out by 30.
Oh,
He was out by 40, wasn't he? He was out in 1940.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, 1937. So that's what. Oh, right. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. He was a goner.
Yep.
Next one after that is 1977. The Police form. This day in 1977, Sting brings together the Police.
Right. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
What was my next? Oh, I love this one. That someone's actually written this down. I love it. But this day in history, in 1983, rock guitarist Slash first hears Axl Rose singing. So that's what inspired him to go along to Axl Rose and say, "Can I be your guitarist?" And well, Guns N' Roses is one of the biggest light rock bands of their time.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's remarkable he actually remembers the day. I mean, I do think he's a good guitarist, but I never liked Guns N' Roses. I like rock music, but I never liked Guns N' Roses. That's just me.
Oh, one of my favourites, I must admit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Then,
okay.
Then I found this very interesting. I didn't see this one on the page that I go for my this day in histories, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll look at a couple others, and none of the others had this, and I find it a travesty. But was it last week or the week before there was the start of the Falkland Islands? Well, this day in history. Was it? I believe it was last week. So that means it was a week later. This day in history, and 1982 was the Battle of Goose Green, which Falkland Islands. And for anyone who doesn't know, that was pretty much the end of the Falklands. And I just wanted to throw a few bits and pieces out there because, again, it means a lot to me. But so United Kingdom versus Argentina. And this was the Battle of Goose Green, and I believe I couldn't find, I think it's like 2:00 in the morning. It ended on the 29th. So they started on May 28th, and that was 2 para, and finished it by the morning of the next day. But the units involved on the British side, we had 3 Commando Brigade, 2nd Battalion, the Parachute Regiment, and the 29th Commando Regiment. And the enemy at the time had the 12th Infantry Regiment, units of the 25th Infantry Regiment, and the 601st AA Artillery Unit, and the 4th Airborne Artillery Unit. The enemy had over 1,000 troops. We had 690. Hang on, yeah. We had 690, 3 fighter aircrafts and a frigate. Casualties and losses. We lost 18. They lost between 45 and 55. We had 64 wounded. They had 112 wounded. We had 1 helicopter downed. They had 961 captured. We had 1 attack aircraft go down, and they had 3 attack aircraft downed. And I always give my sympathy to every last, whether you're a goodie or a baddie. Thank you for your time, all of you. But yeah, very brutal. I said it last time when I was talking about this. It was the last sort of brutal engagement we had, I suppose. Very, very briefly. So it was fought from the 28th to the 29th. British and Argentina forces with the Falkland Wars located on East Falklands Central Island. The settlement of Goose Green was the site of the tactically vital airfield, and that was the other thing. That's why it ended in Goose Green. It was that's where the airfield was. So whoever owned the airfield was going to be sort of victorious. They moved into the airfield very, very early, and we were outnumbered. It doesn't show it as well in those figures that I just gave out, but at the actual Battle of Goose Green, we were very outnumbered, and it was and in fact, Bron said about the last what do you call it, Victoria Cross, and that was won by someone there. It was someone in the 2 para who ran headfirst into a machine gun post.
It's
Possibly moved it forward.
Colonel H. Jones, I think that was. That's the name.
Cheers. I was just looking. I couldn't find his. Thank you. Where is it?
I did hear something very, very controversial about him, by the way. I don't know if it's true. Maybe it's probably. I don't know if it's worth repeating or not, but no, probably not. Yeah, go on, carry on.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. And in fact, about that bit, so the main body of the British assault force was comprised of the 2nd Battalion Parachute Regiment and Lieutenant Colonel Herbert Jones, as Bron said, was the guy who. Well, what it was a BBC radio broadcast of the imminent attack on Goose Green. Kind of gave away what was going on, and there was a massive controversy at the time that they'd said over the internet, over the radio, what was going to go on, and apparently that's when Lieutenant Colonel Herbert decided, right, that's it, I'm going to make an attack on a gun position. Took it out after the attack began. Early hours of the 28th of May, the 2nd Parachute advanced and was stalled by fixed trenches with interlocking fields of fire. Jones was killed during a solo charge on the machine gun post. The Argentinian garrison agreed to a ceasefire and formally surrendered the following morning. Oh yeah, at 2 o'clock in the morning, as a result of the actions of Jones, and because of that, he received the Victoria Cross. Lesson finished.
Yeah.
See, even back then, the BBC were aiding and abetting the enemy.
Yeah.
They've been at it for them.
I remember hearing older squaddies talking about some of that stuff. Actually, yeah.
British bashing corporation. Anyway,
indeed. But yeah, funny that I couldn't see that on Today in History, and I would have thought. I go to a place called Today in British History. You would have thought that was on there, not a sausage.
Really? Oh.
There
you go. Perhaps, yeah. I wonder if that's deliberate.
You
can't be patriotic about England or Britain anymore. You know that. It's not allowed. Right. It's censored. Allowed only patriotism here. Only, you're only allowed to put this country down these days. You're allowed to talk shit about it. So there you go.
So yeah.
I did see you guys probably have heard this as well, that as we talked about last week, Henry Novak, the guy who got stabbed and then handcuffed by the police because they thought he was being racist, and that was more important than being stabbed. The guy who stabbed him has been charged with murder. So that's a little bit of justice, and there is an investigation into the police officer's conduct as well. Not that I hold out any great hope for that, but that's what's gone on. I believe
the mother's also been arrested, which is a good thing as well.
Yeah, apparently she removed some evidence from the scene of the crime. I think she, something to do with the dagger, maybe, or something. Yeah. So, that's something at least. Those police officers absolutely need to be held to account. Absolutely.
Well, it's really triggered my PTSD. I've had a couple of nightmares about it now, and it's really pissed me off. That, and I expect for a lot of people this is scary, but just the whole. Whenever they talk about it, and I'm glad they do because it puts it in people's minds. But they make it very graphic, and I don't like knowing the graphic details. And I know what's his name, Dan Wootton. As I say, I understand why they're doing it. They need to make the point, and good for them. But yeah, it's horrific. How can you try? I personally have zero trust in the police. I personally, it would take a lot for me to even want to phone the police for anything.
Yeah,
I talk to the police every day.
Really?
Yeah, every single day.
See, that's it. I think I know that I'm wrong for not trust in the police. Well, no, it's their fault, sort of thing. But a society doesn't work when you don't when you don't trust the police. I will get my words out, and I have zero trust in them. Yeah,
you're quite right, but I would add the caveat that their orders come from above.
yeah.
You know, so they do this stuff. They've been through all kinds of DEI training and warnings about this and warnings about that. When you talk to individuals, they are quite interesting, and you know they're human. But then, en masse, as a group, yeah, they have to follow certain rules and regulations which filter down from above.
I understand that rules and regulations. I totally understand that, but this guy had been, and again, I don't want to bring it up too graphically, but he'd been stabbed in the back of the legs. He'd been stabbed in the chest, and at no point, even if they thought it was a lie, if someone says I've been stabbed, I don't care what rules, what DEI stuff you're doing. The first thing in any police handbook should be, we'll pat them down, check, are they bleeding? You know, it's like me when, as a soldier, if someone's down, there's a whole checklist of are they breathing? Can I see a wound? Blah 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 blah. All these things that you have to go through. Well, they fundamentally, even if you don't think it's bad policing, it's incompetence then. But it's on a someone has died. Someone could still be alive today. They killed someone.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, it's a very grey area. It's a very grey area. This whole thing about the police. Like, I mean, Viv, the points you made, yeah, they're all valid, but there's you got to draw the line somewhere. It's like these people, they must at some point realize what they're doing. They must realize that the orders that they're following are not good, are not right.
If they lose the consent of the public to police, then they're nothing.
Yes, no, you're right. Yeah, I understand that.
Exactly. I mean, we do hear that morale is at an all-time low, which is no surprise. And that I think you've got to accept at some point that a certain amount of them actually are fully on board with what they're doing, especially when you are face to face with them in certain situations, and you see them actually doing their job, as 4D you and I have seen them doing at certain events, certain events. And you kind of think, there's absolutely no need for you to be doing that. So some of them are actually kind of, they're fully on board with that. Some of them are probably really, really conflicted, and are just sort of, holding their nose and thinking, well, they're kind of in too deep. They've got pensions, they've got responsibilities, they've got families, they've got mortgages, and they can't just walk away from it.
Nope.
Well, see, my argument to that is, if there were enough of them that were good, then enough of them would come together and say, we ain't doing this. They'd walk out. None of them would lose their job because they can't survive without the police. But they should show the public that they're on our side. But unfortunately, like you just pointed out, I've seen so many instances where the police are brutalising the right or the English or the whatever you want to, doing their jobs wrong. And I've got no respect, zero respect for them. I know, as I say, I know that's wrong. I know it's a bad place to be. I'm not asking for no police. I'm not sort of asking for them to be defunded. But I think it's time that the average police officer said, look, this is really bad. 2 of our people have just killed someone in the back of a... I think it was bad 5 years ago, but now I just think you either get up and leave and show that you are not for what your high uppers are telling you to do, or you're just as bad as them.
Well, it's I suppose it's a very difficult position to be in, because the police are not allowed to go on strike. Okay.
No, rightly so.
They can't go on strike. So it is a matter of, I mean, you're not going to get one person standing up. And if one person stands up and says, no, I morally and ethically disagree with this, I'm quitting. I mean, you might even get police officers doing that. But unless they do it all, unless they kind of band together and do it as a group all at the same time, and that may also lead to serious repercussions for them as well, legal repercussions. I don't know what a police officer has to sign up to become a police officer. they may basically sign something which creates a great deal of jeopardy for them if they do something like that.
I understand. I do understand, but we have Lucy Connolly that went to prison for an online tweet that wasn't even that bad, and the amount of times I've seen people asking to behead Christians, or I want to kill Tommy Robinson. None of those. Nothing happens to them. Not a single thing. And I'm sorry. I've got to the point where it's too far now.
But that is because of the higher ups, definitely. Those are the people in the decision makers at the top of the pile, and they are actually rotten. They're common purpose. They are probably Fabians, Masons, whatever, and actually kind of completely on board with what's going on.
And that's what I mean. Go on.
You can arrest a policeman.
Yeah. Good luck trying that, but yes, you can do a citizen's arrest. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can arrest them for impersonating a police officer if they're not if they're not a police officer. If they're
most people out there are
impersonating a constable. If they call themselves a constable and they're actually a police officer, you can arrest them for impersonating a constable. Because all police used to, now I don't know if it's have changed, used to take the constable's oath, which is way back from Robert Peel when the Metropolitan Police Force were formed, the so-called Peelers. So a number of them are not police constables. They're police officers. And if they call themselves constables, you can tell that if they display constable, but they're not, they can be arrested. Of course, good luck with that, as Bron said, or 4D was it.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to close ranks. That's not going to get anywhere at all. That did make me wonder, actually, when was the last time, talking of citizens' arrests, I wonder when the last time an actual citizen's arrest was made and actually carried through. Because I do remember a story once, and we're going back now, I think it was probably in the early 2000s, when Tony Blair was in a restaurant somewhere, and a guy went in and tried to make a citizen's arrest on him.
Oh, yes, I remember.
And of course, he was just brushed away. He was just like, "No, go away. You that's never gonna." And of course, nothing happened. But I'm sure he had valid reason to do so. And of course, you try and make citizens' arrests on some of these criminals, and you're not going to get anywhere.
Well, I was going to say the last citizen's arrest I saw was the one Wilsey posted, where he tried to arrest the guys that were attacking him, and it didn't go well for Wilsey. He ended up getting arrested.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it? Does it have any validity anymore? Citizen's arrest. When was the last one that actually worked?
It does. It does have validity, but it has to it has to actually meet really strict criteria. Otherwise, you can be criminally charged for false imprisonment, assault, and battery. All those kind of things. You have to be very, very careful.
Yeah,
but you can still do
it's
it.
kind of basically impossible. It's impossible to enforce, really. Then, isn't it? Because if a police officer arrests a citizen, okay, for something they believe to be a genuine cause, they can detain them and they can handcuff them and they can read them their rights and say you're under arrest for such and such and such. But if a citizen does that to somebody else, then they can be charged with false imprisonment.
Depends.
By holding somebody.
Yeah.
Well,
depends.
yeah. It's if it depends, then it's really open to whoever is interpreting it, isn't it?
Well,
so it's not hard and fast, is it? So it's kind of
because it's under common law, you have to treat it as such. I've seen several citizens' arrests, and they seem to have gone very well. Most recent was when I was still in. Yeah. Most recent in London was what you might call a roadman. You know what a roadman is? Yeah.
A roadman?
No.
A roadman is generally black or white geezer, street kid.
Never heard that expression before.
Roadman. Yeah, well, it's a young person's expression, a roadman. But yeah, this person, Black Geezer, was he's a cycle courier. It was in London, and an Eastern European fella had was in the process of nicking his bike. He caught him. He put him down on the ground and detained him. And then a crowd gathered, one of whom, within which was myself, and somebody phoned the police. The police arrived and took away the thief, the person who attempted the thief. Everyone claps the roadman for doing this.
Okay.
And he didn't appear. There was nothing from the police. They just, they just took away the thief.
Yeah, but this is just one member of the public making a citizen's arrest on another member of the public who's actually openly trying to steal something. You try and do that to any person in any authority, and it's going to be a different story, Viv. You know it will be. You won't be able to do that to a police officer. You won't be able to do that to a politician. You won't be able to do that to, anybody with sufficient standing or power. It's just not going to happen. You'll never get anywhere.
No, I mean, the most famous one apparently was the Citizens Arrest Network, and they did activists from that network. They arrested the Southern Water CEO Lawrence Gosden, confronted him at a conference in the City of London, holding him until the City of London police arrived, citing environmental damage and sewage spills.
Okay. When was that? Was that fairly recently?
Last year.
Because I did see something. I don't think it was probably something a bit different when this group of women tried to make a citizen's arrest on somebody, and that they actually kind of the way they tried to detain him. He was walking him down the street. He was going from one place to another. They all kind of joined hands in a ring around him, so he couldn't actually get out. So they weren't actually touching him, but they were kind of sort of trying to detain him by sort of like I can't remember who that was actually. It might have been a politician of some kind.
I don't
think it was successful. And I don't think it was successful either. What they were trying to do. So.
It's difficult. It's very difficult. You have to. There are certain rules and regulations you have to follow, of course. And paedophile hunters try as much as they can, because they're aware of all this. They try as much as they can to remain within the law when they make citizens' arrests. They set up sting. You know what a pedo hunter is. They set up stings, and then they go and perform a citizen's arrest and detain the person. They surround them. They say, "We phoned the police. We're waiting for them to arrive." Okay.
While we're on that subject, did you hear about Hugh Edwards is apparently in talks with Channel 4?
No.
Channel 4 wants to make Channel 4 wants to make a documentary so Hugh Edwards can put forward his side of the story. Can you believe it?
Oh my!
That is so sickening.
I mean, Channel 4. It is purely
Channel 4. Yeah. You know, they're plumbing new depths. They really are.
Yeah.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. The guy should be in prison for God's sake, along with Mandelson. These people should not be allowed to be free right now.
And for anyone who hasn't looked into Hugh Edwards, have a look, because what was said to us was only the tip of the iceberg. And in fact, the other one was that Scott Mills. He just suddenly came off the radio. Looking into that, he was a real absolute fucking wrong.
Another BBC employee, another BBC employee, BBC employee.
Since their founding in, I think, 1922, the BBC have been consistently a nest of paedophiles. Consistently.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
And there's no doubt. There's no doubt about that. There is no doubt about that.
No, and it can't just be mistakes. It happens all the time.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If anyone's interested in the background to all this, of the beginnings of the BBC, in the London Review of Books, it must be about 10 years ago now, Shauna Hagan wrote a very interesting article about the BBC and its links with paedophilia. and it documents a number of the early characters on radio, who then, some of whom transitioned to television and were well-known paedophiles. People knew about it. They had flats around the BBC when it was centred in what's that street off Regent Street? You know, the one with the church with the pedo sculpture. Portland Place.
Oh yeah, Portland Place.
Yeah. A lot of these were high-profile presenters. They had flats around Portland Place. They were high up in the BBC as presenters, and other sort of apparatchiks of the State Broadcasting Corporation.
Mm.
Yeah.
But trust good old BBC. Good old BBC, though, eh? God. Our BBC.
Did you hear also the BBC, right? Because they get so desperate, right? Because so many people now have stopped paying the license fee. They are now starting to employ debt collectors to get people to pay the license fee.
Of course they are, and that's even worse because they need, if they can get a liability order, go ahead. If you can get that in front of a magistrate, let's see how that works. Just with council tax.
Yeah, I mean, it's talk about desperate. I mean, so they are now using taxpayers' license fee payers' money to employ companies to get people to pay license fee. The license fee.
It's not going to work.
No,
it's not going to work. No, it won't, because most people don't watch TV anymore. Most people don't need to watch TV anymore, live TV.
Well, that's right. They're always going to ask you, say, I don't have a television. They say, but do you watch streaming? Do you watch live streaming? Do you? So they're up on that. But, good luck with that. Of course they are. Good luck with that.
There's a lot of information out there about how they're trying to hoodwink people, and all the dodgy tactics they use to try and trick people with their false information. So a lot of people are really wising up to it.
Yeah, they are.
And the evidence, the proof in the pudding is the output. All you have to do is watch the BBC to see how shit it is.
Terrible,
and also the license fee keeps going up. It's almost, what is it, £185 a year now to watch that drivel.
Is it really? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the thing is, it's not, if it was just the BBC, then that would be one thing, but it's not. It's any live TV. It's like, that's got nothing to do with the BBC, ITV, all the other whatever TV channels, terrestrial TV channels, as they used to be called. So yeah, it's just, God.
I genuinely don't watch any of them, so it doesn't frighten me in the slightest. And I think most people are the same. No, I know. Yeah, I think most people are the same.
Even if it did frighten me.
No.
Well, even if you do watch live stream, right? Live TV streaming on the internet, how are they going to prove it? They can't prove it unless they catch you actually doing it at the time.
That's right.
And they especially can't prove it if you've got a VPN. It's just, there's no way they're ever going to be able to pin that on you. It's just ridiculous.
Even if I did watch television and I had a television, I still wouldn't pay my license fee.
No, of course not.
I mean, if they do manage they won't get in here, but if they do manage to get in here, I'm thinking if they do knock on the door and I happen to be in, I'll invite them in and then I'll lock the door and I'll say, well, you can have a look around. You see, I've got no television, etc. Okay, all right, gentlemen, you can go now. And they'll try to get out and I'll say, oh no, it's gone again. Oh, so sorry. Look, we're going to have to wait for a locksmith now. Last one took 2 days. So you better make yourself comfortable, gentlemen.
Let me read you some of my stories I've been writing.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I've got lentil stew for tea. You're very welcome to have that. I haven't got any milk, but I can make you a black cup of tea.
I've got an insect casserole, lots of grasshoppers. Very good, very nutritious, apparently.
Yeah, but I was so sorry. Oh no. Well, I've got a spare room. You'll be all right. You can bunk up. And would that be
Yeah.
false imprisonment, though? Where they might attempt
I think
it, but
it would. I think it would.
Well,
I
the fact
think
that
it
you locked
probably
the
would.
door,
Yeah,
the
but
fact
they
that
wouldn't
you
know
locked the
that.
door might give it away, and you've spoke about it now.
Yeah. I wouldn't let them see me lock the door. I'd say, "Oh, you can go in, check the other room," and surreptitiously lock the door. And they tried to get out. And I was like, "Oh no, it's happened again." Look, has any of you gents got a mobile phone? I don't have one, but you might need to phone a locksmith. I don't know if they'll be out tonight though.
I mean, the bottom line is these people who do these checks work for a private company. They have no legal powers. They
No.
might as well be somebody who works for the shop down the road. That's how much. That's how much rights they have to request anything from you, which is zero.
That's right. I'm
You get
not
some guy-
actually going to lock them in, of course, because they won't get in
No.
anyway. But
No, I wouldn't let them in the first place.
I just wouldn't even answer the door to them in the first place. I ain't got, fuck that.
Be careful though.
Yeah,
They get a foot in the
anyway.
door, they can get in, but never mind.
No, that is breaking and entering. You have to invite them in. They're like vampires. You have to invite them in.
Yeah.
Did you guys happen to see Tommy Robinson's new documentary, the Hope Not Hate one?
You know what? I watched a little bit of it, and I'm thinking that's a really old documentary because you see how young he is in that. I'm thinking I'm sure I've seen that before because he is really young in that. That is like 10 years old or something like that,
No, yes, some of the clips he's showing you, but no, it's one that it's the one that he was working on.
No, I didn't watch it. I don't know what it's going to be.
Hope Not Hate haven't even been. Well, maybe they have been around for about 10 years. Actually, thinking about it, maybe they have.
Well, yeah, they have. He did that Panodrama. That was about Hope Not Hate. They were trying to catch him out, and he turned the tables on them and caught them out.
In fact, that bit was part of the documentary, actually. Yeah. So
yeah.
It was very good. It was again as good a standard as his first one, and it was naming big names in the government. It was showing how the tentacles go out and how they control the media. I don't know how many views he's had. I'm sure it won't be as big as the first one, but a lot of people are aware of him now. So this one will go out, and people will watch it. I just thought it was very good timing, very good documentary, and I haven't heard anyone else speaking about it, but I just thought it was good. Yeah.
Hope Not Hate. Go on, Viv. Sorry.
Hope Not Hate are heavily involved in the Makerfield by-election, which is coming on June the 18th, and it's a crucial by-election, and I'll tell you why I think it's crucial in a minute. Okay.
Be very interesting. I think, like you, I think it's worth. I'm going to stay up late to watch what transpires there because I think that's going to be a big one.
Well, let's talk about that now, shall we?
Talk
about that.
Well, in my opinion, Andy Burnham's going to get in.
Let's hope not. But yeah, go on.
But the way Burnham will get in is because the split of the opposition, the opposition is split. If it was Reform on its own, yes, but you have quite a few people who will the vote against Burnham will bleed out. And I believe he'll win if it carries on like this. If Restore withdraw, perhaps then that would be a bit different. But you're going to split the opposition between the number of small parties, Reform and Restore. Restore are getting, they aren't riding high in the polls, and the polls don't mean a great deal. But Burnham basically it's between Burnham and Restore, and Restore's vote will be eaten into. Reform and Reform's vote will be eaten into by independents and various other groups, and including, definitely Restore will take away some of the vote from Reform, thus allowing Burnham to ride through. And I think what Burnham's going to do, and we know what he wants to do, he will attempt to become leader of the Labour Party once he's in Parliament, and he will attempt to call a general election on the back of the dethronement of Keir Starmer, and he will become leader of the party, and the election will deliver him as Prime Minister. How about that?
I agree that is a possibility, but I've got, I've got a different view of what could happen. But interestingly, before I say that is, I think it was Dan Wootton tonight. No, it wasn't. It was someone else. But they were saying what's interesting about this by-election that's coming up is that it's shown them that the majority of people that are voting for reform are getting their politics from TV, mainstream media, legacy media, so on and so forth. The ones that are going to be voting for Rupert Lowe are very internet based, getting their getting their news from Substack, True Social, Facebook, whatever you want to call it, and they reckon that there's the majority of the people that Lowe is turning round are first-time voters, people that didn't want to vote before. In my humble opinion, or what I want to happen, I suppose, is I've got a funny feeling that with the internet presence that Lowe has got, a great scenario is that Lowe actually wins that, Reform comes second, and Andy Burnham comes last. And then what that does is that completely ruins Nigel Farage, meaning the next 3 years he's just a lame duck as well, because it will kind of just say to the rest of the country, look, Rupert Lowe can do this. And that's why I think they're going to have put every single bit of their energy, because they're such a small party, not many people are talking about them still. This will be the fight of their lives. I think they've come out and said that all they want to do is stop Nigel. And that's not a clever, I don't think that's the kind of clever thing that Rupert Lowe should be saying. And that's why I don't think he is saying that. I think they've got a great inkling that they are actually going to win this. And it's going to be a very big head turner.
So far, Salvation, I'm just looking at the first polling, shows Andy Burnham leading Reform's Robert Kenyon by 3 points, by 43% to 40%. Rebecca Shepherd for Restore is on 7%. The Liberal Democrats are on 4%. The Green are on 3%, and the Conservatives on 2%.
Interesting, yeah. So they're not really anywhere near it, really.
They're nowhere near it. Okay. They're nowhere near it. They're nowhere near it.
Here's my view on this. First of all, that poll that you're reading from, Viv, that is very inaccurate. Because apparently only like a few hundred people were surveyed in that poll, right? Okay. For a start.
Oh yeah, so I take that point. I absolutely take that point.
Or not a few hundred, maybe a few thousand. I think about 3,000. I think that was the somewhere around that. That was a figure of the people surveyed in that poll. So, and that is the only poll. That's the only poll I've seen. Everyone's trying to. And that is the only one that anyone ever talks about, the one with Restore on 7%. But I kind of think that I do actually think that I'm kind of somewhere in between both of you, actually. I think Burnham probably will win it. I think generally, nationally, it doesn't make any real difference. I don't think if he, it's kind of a lose-lose situation in a way, right? Because we hate Starmer, we want Starmer to go. Okay, if Andy Burnham wins this by-election, that gives him a shot at the premiership. That gives him a shot at taking out Keir Starmer, which, great, Keir Starmer's gone, but then we've got Burnham, who is probably going to be worse. And if he calls a general election, they're going to lose. I don't think he's going to win if they call a general election, all right? So it's really kind of, it's a toss-up between Starmer or whoever else is there who wants to take his place, which is probably going to be worse. So really, if Burnham wins this by-election or loses it, doesn't make a great deal of difference overall. But for me, the real difference about this is what's going on between Reform and Restore. I think Restore probably will, they probably will take a few votes from the other parties, but that's, as 4D, as what you said, that's not their aim. That's not what they're going for. They're not trying to take votes from the other parties. They're trying to activate the non-voters, of which there are a huge amount.
And that's the biggest part of the electorate, isn't it? I think.
It is. This is vital. This is their whole raison d'etre of Restore. This is what they've got to do. They've got to get to those people. They've got to make them aware. They've got to activate them and really get the message through to them. Because if they can get those people voting for them, they're on a winner. If they could win this, if Restore could win this, that could be momentous. That could be amazing, incredible. Because it really
it
would.
be unstoppable.
You know,
But I kind of
really. Sorry, let me just finish.
yeah.
But I don't think they will. I don't think they will. That they'll you know, they may do if they really get it right. I don't think the candidate's that strong either. Rebecca Shepherd, I don't think she's that convincing. So I think it'll probably be. I think Restore probably will get more percentage of the vote, but I think Reform will just kind of fall a bit short. I think Burnham will win it. That's my opinion.
I think if Burnham wins it, I worry that what Viv said is kind of what would happen, is that he would just get a general election and we'll just have them for longer.
No, but who's going to vote? Nobody's going to vote for Labour. They won't vote for Labour. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I'm saying if he wins. So if Andy Burnham wins, that will give them the momentum that he would just go, well, yeah, maybe. And again, maybe you're right on that scenario. Maybe it is the best case scenario is he wins. He feels so confident that he says, yeah, right, general election, here we go, me for 4 years. And actually it goes all against him. And that's how Reform get in. That would be, I guess, that would be equally as good for me.
Everyone is talking about Andy Burnham as being this great saviour. You know, they've kind of put this tag on him, the king in the north, the king of the north.
Yeah.
And they're really building him up, you know. And there's a lot of people I see commenting on it say, hold on a minute, this guy is not anything special. This guy is not, you know, everyone's building him up to be this great saviour. He's not that guy. You know? And if he does Starmer, he's not going to be any much better. He might get the initial wave of, you know, the honeymoon period, the wave of optimism, but he's just going to be just as bad, if not worse, in the long run.
The thing is, we live in our echo chamber, a lot of us, most of the time. Listening to my nephew, he likes Andy Burnham, and the reasons he gave, okay, I don't agree with them, but again, it's that mainstream. We you know, don't. We hear a lot of our echo chamber. I think that's the problem. The Labour voters do seem to have fallen for the whole King of the North. And the chat things I look at, everyone calls him King Dick of the North. So, you know, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you could say the same about Keir Starmer. People fell for Keir Starmer before the last election. Oh yeah, Keir Starmer, he's going to be much better than this rubbish Conservatives. He's going to sort it out. He's going to do good. He's a sensible guy. No, even Tony Blair now. My God, Tony Blair, have you seen that?
I thought that. Yeah,
he's been shitting all over him. It's unbelievable. Like,
you're absolutely fucked if Tony Blair is saying you're no good.
I know. He's been talking about scrapping net zero, really getting, you know, talking about the stopping the boats. You really got to do. I mean, Tony Blair's going to town on him. Tony Blair sounds like a Reform, like he's a member of Reform now. It's unbelievable.
Do you think he's had these fingers put into vices? Do you think, because it is? I was kind of laughing how different he sounded in something he did today, and I
think he can afford to say anything he wants. He's got nothing on the line, and he's just looking at public opinion. He's just going with it. You know, he's just like, okay, yeah, I'll just say what everybody else is saying, and it'll make me look really good. Because he knows Keir Starmer's dead man walking. He knows he's finished. So, you know, he can afford to hammer a few more nails into that coffin. That's no problem. That's not going to work out bad for him, is it?
I know we've said it before, but he genuinely, the older he gets, the more like the devil or like a real evil man he just genuinely looks like an evil man.
He is soulless. And Keir Starmer is soulless as well. They have no soul. It's that simple. They really don't. And Blair especially, because Blair actually was much more dangerous because he covered it up. You know, he actually had popularity, and he's still regarded as a competent prime minister, someone who's actually good in the job, who could do the job. Although the damage he's done to this country is we're really suffering from it now. You know, Although you could say successive governments since then have had the chance to change it, which they have, so they're not completely blameless, but they was the one who put it into place, and nobody's changed it since. So,
yes, and another thing to take into consideration is the Labour Party plays dirty. The Labour Party plays dirty, and the establishment lets them go away with it as well. So
yeah,
I mean,
but they all play dirty, Viv. They all play. It's the establishment, isn't it? The establishment plays dirty because to them that's the game. Those are the rules of the game. They expect them to do that. So I don't think whether you're Labour or Conservative, it's just the game, and it's they kind of shrug their shoulders and say that's what it is.
Oh yes, Hope Not Hate are really actively involved in this. They're a private company, Hope Not Hate. It's a charitable trust, but it's also a private company, and their members, who are overwhelmingly Labour, are been blanketly distributing leaflets in the by-election constituency, targeting reform and backing Burnham.
They are intrinsic. They are entwined with the government. They are like Siamese twins with the government. The government always goes to them for various. They consult with them all the time about things.
Right.
They are effectively a government department now. Really.
Yeah.
So to call them,
raises,
yeah, go on.
That raises serious questions about whether a charitable establishment whose offshoot is, who has an offshoot as a company, whether is this suitable for them to be involved in government? I mean, how many charities are involved in government?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is a massive problem across the board. They're not the only ones. There's loads of them, and we know there is. There's so much of this stuff going on. It's just corruption, basically. At the end of the day. So yeah, I mean, this is a problem. This is a problem with the establishment, with the system. This is the reason that a lot of people are waking up to, and why they're not voting, which is what Rupert Lowe has identified. Rupert Lowe has positioned himself as the anti-establishment party. He's the one who's going to actually do something about this and make your vote count again. Make it worthwhile for you to go to the polling station and vote again. That's their whole. So I'm kind of hoping that you're. Sorry, Viv.
Two serious problems with Lowe. One is the main problem being that he's really fallen out with Nigel Farage. They probably hate each other, and if basically splitting the vote is going to be absolutely worse than pointless in a situation like that, because that Restore need to withdraw and restoring Conservative voters need to hold their nose and vote for reform if they want to get Burnham out.
No, but this is the point. I don't think that's that important.
No,
it's almost like you are sounding like a reform voter now, because this is their line that they've been pushing out about this. It's almost like Reform now are saying that they're entitled to these votes. These are not Reform votes. They're not entitled to these votes. Restore are a legitimate political party. And you're saying you shouldn't stand in elections. It's like, what's the point? That's what political parties are meant to do. And if Reform have such a problem with this, because Restore, as I've said, they're not going after other parties' votes. They're going for the people who have given up on voting. So if Reform are so worried that Restore are going to take their votes, that's a problem for Reform. That's not a problem for Restore. That's something that Reform need to sort out. They need to sort their own house out. Surely that's their failing.
This also sounds very much like this sounds exactly like that Trump is stupid argument, where they go, he's stupid, he doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'd say, bringing it back to Rupert Lowe, everything you've said, Viv, totally. I understand absolutely why you're saying. He's not a stupid man. He's not going to do this if he didn't think he had a chance. The split in the vote, if he genuinely thought that's what was going to happen, his name will look so shit. I don't think we're treating him with the respect that that he's due. And I'm not trying to say he's some Trump either. I don't think he's half the man Trump is. But I'm just saying, let's not, these people aren't. Some of these people aren't stupid. Yeah.
No, well, we'll see. We'll see on the night. It's only a couple of weeks to go now.
It's like you said. I think that's why you and me are quite very interested. I'm sure Bronze is as well. But I think a lot of us are going to be interested in it.
Very interested indeed.
I think that there's also other problems with reform as well. It's because they are. I mean, they've taken on so many ex-Tories. Okay, the very same ex-Tories who, when they were Tories, failed to sort these problems out. They were in a Conservative government there, and they failed to address these problems when they're in that government. Now they've gone to reform, and now they're complaining about these things need to be sorted out. Reform is the only one who's going to sort these things out. It's like, you used to be in the Tory party when you could have sorted this out.
And voted against the major issues. They were the ones that wanted to stay in Europe. They were the ones that stopped us from going out because of a fake virus. They are the antithesis of what we don't want.
Yes.
Yeah, and also one other thing as well, which is relevant, I think. All they're complaining about Restore Britain splitting the vote. How short a memory do they have? And it was the Conservatives moaning about Reform splitting the vote only a few years ago. Reform were in exactly that position.
Yeah.
Yes. Of course.
And now they're the ones complaining. Now they're the ones complaining exactly about what they were doing a few years back. It's complete bullshit. I'm sorry. Reform are just done. They are just absolute charlatans, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm simply looking at this by-election and the possibilities that can ensue from that. I don't really care. I don't vote anyway. I don't vote anyway. But I do suffer under the people who are misguided enough to vote. I do suffer under that they vote, and I do question as well why is the name Restore? Why do we have the name Restore?
Why not? What would you want to call it?
Something that sounds a little bit different to Reform. Because
I've thought of that a lot. See, restore. So if you want to restore something, or if you want to reform something, I think that's a very important
distinction. Yes, but people don't think about this as deeply as you do, 4D. How many people are going to confuse restore and reform? I don't know. I mean, they sound similar
on TV.
Maybe that was Rupert Lowe. Maybe that was Rupert Lowe just having a dig at Farage because Reform treated him really bad. Zia Youssef tried to get him arrested for God's sakes on trumped up charges.
Yes, I know.
It's that's outrageous. What they did to him.
Yes,
but I don't think it's
maybe it was deliberate.
I think it's a big deal.
Maybe it was deliberate. Yeah. It sounds so similar that he wanted to. Yeah.
Oh yes,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's kind of like a dig at them, a dig at Farage, or
Yes.
But no, I really don't think. Although it is really interesting, and it will kind of be very groundbreaking as a local election. I still think the outcome of it is really nationally not that relevant.
No. Okay.
I don't think it's really it's going to amount to that much.
So if Andy Burnham wins, that's not going to really have any effect.
Well, he's doing it obviously to get a shot at the Labour leadership, right? To get Keir Starmer out, which on one hand, I would really like because I think, and this is why, because I think Keir Starmer. The guy is completely tone deaf. He's not listening to public opinion. He must know how unpopular he is, but he's insisting that he's staying there. And to me, that is real. That is just ego and narcissism on his part. Like, he doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to go down in history as a Labour leader who was ousted before his time. It's real. And so for him, kind of to get him out would be like, I want him to feel that shame. I want him to feel that personal failure. I want him to feel that. I don't want him to.
Yeah,
So
but
to get him out, but
if this is the politics of revenge, then it's not good enough because Andy Burnham will be as bad, if not worse. He's a similar character.
I know.
You know,
It's going to be no different, Viv. It's not going to be any different, is it? It's not going to make any difference. It's really not. Andy Burnham is not going to be able to save this government.
It will make a difference if he manages to get the party behind him. They run an election campaign in. It would be in this year because it has to do it this year. So after say, I mean, this is Matt Goodwin talking as well. Who's Restore? I know that. I mean, I'm conscious that Matt Goodwin has said that. So has Daniel Judd. So has Jupp. Sorry, and so have a lot of the right-wing commentators. But if Burnham plays this, he's in with a chance of swinging it in his favour if he's elected in Makersfield, and then if he if he ousts Starmer and then calls a general election within 6 to 8 weeks of him becoming party leader.
Why would he call a general election?
Because it makes sense. It would make absolute sense if you win by election.
What sense?
To consolidate his power base and to give Labour another his power and Labour Party's power. He's a Labour man through and through, and that will then extend the Labour Party's iron fascistic grip on this country from 2029 to 2031.
Yeah.
Do you really believe that Labour, if he calls a general election, that they're going to win? Do you really believe that?
No, but but that's what will happen. I think it's kind of. Well, he would be stupid not to do that, I suppose, if he did win. Obviously.
Well, I mean, if he won the by-election and he ousts Starmer, then he's just going to become another unelected prime minister, the same as Sunak was, and
that's
all
why
the rest of him.
That's why he has to call a general election. One of the many reasons why he will call a general election if he wins.
I mean, to believe that Labour can win an election in the next year or so is, to me, is just unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. And a lot of unbelievable things have happened in politics when Tony Blair prosecuted the Iraq War. It looked like it was the end for him. I was part of the 1 million or over 1 million who marched against the Iraq War. We thought, he's done for now. But no, he got in. He waltzed back in again.
Yeah, but it's a different scenario these days. It really is. The politics, the whole political scene is shifted now.
Yes, I agree.
Especially, the Conservatives and Labour have really dropped off.
They have.
So it's different, reform. I think reform, if Burnham calls an election, reform will win. Whether they get an outright majority is another story, but I think reform will win.
The general election, yeah. Well, there's everything to play for. It depends how smooth an operator Burnham is and how he can unite the party behind him. And if he can do that quickly before his faults are apparent, then don't know. Who knows?
Well, yeah. I mean, can you imagine this, right? I imagine he does manage to do that. I mean, what you said there before his faults are known. Okay, that's kind of that sets quite an interesting scenario. So, say he does manage to do that, he unites the party behind him, and by hook or by crook, he calls an election and they win it. And so that gives them another whatever it is, 4 or 5 years, and they turn out to be even worse than Starmer. What is this country going to be like then after that?
By then we'll be in full recession. We'll have other things to think about. There will be food shortages. There'll be oil shortages. There will be
riots. There will be civil. And that, I mean, talk about actually accelerating civil unrest. That will do it.
Exactly what they want. Exactly what they want.
Well, I don't know that. I don't really agree with that. To be honest with you, I don't think that's what they want. Really, that's just too much trouble for them.
Yeah, they do. No? It's much easier if we all beat each other up. Much easier.
Easier.
It's not about beating each other up. It's about revolting against the government. They don't want that. I mean, their police force, even the army, that's going to really coming back to the police force and the morale in the police force, you might actually find a lot. That is what might actually push a lot of these police who are in two minds over the edge and say, right, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
There's no worries. There's always the people who are being trained. You know those
I was
people.
going to say they've got hundreds of thousands of people that they brought over here to.
If that's the case, then if that's the case, then we have a very identifiable enemy, and there's nothing that's going to unite. There's nothing that's going to unite the people. Then a very identifiable enemy.
And I genuinely think that's already happened in the whole Civil War thing. I think it's already, it's a tinderbox waiting to happen. But as I say, the scenario is we only have around about 30% voting on any given election. So even if all of that 30% come out, and generally you've got about 50% that are going to be for the left and 50% roughly that are going to be for the right. So of that 30%, Andy Burnham could get about 15% of the electorate. Everyone's forgetting about the other 70% that don't ever vote.
Exactly.
All he needs to get is 15% of that. And 5% of that 70%, and he will absolutely trounce them both. And that's when you start looking at percentages and numbers. It's a different.
Who needs to get? Who needs to get 5%? Who are you talking
Rupert
about?
Lowe.
Oh, Rupert Lowe, right? Okay, yeah.
Of the 70% that don't ever vote.
General elections.
He needs to get more than that. He needs to get more than that, surely.
The turnout in general elections, and yes, he does need to get more than 5%. The turnout in general elections, as Fordy rightly says, by-elections generally around 30, maybe 40% if you're lucky. General elections, 50 to 60% voter turnout.
Oh, okay, so 50. Okay, fair enough.
Was that the turnout in the last general election?
I think it was around. It was around that. Yes.
Really, that much? I didn't think it was that much, to be honest with you.
But
but still,
as I say, that's still a massive. It's still 40% is a large figure, and he doesn't have to get all of that 40%. Just going back when you said, it has to be more than 5%. I quickly maths in my head. No, it's not that much more because you're talking about the 5% of the other 70%. That works out to more than the whole of the 15% of the half of the 30%, as I put it up forward before. But okay, it's 50 to 60%. Anyway, either way, it's a situation that, hey, maybe the anger in the country is good enough already.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, didn't Starmer get only around 30% of the vote in the last election? Was that the amount? 30% of the electorate?
It was something around that. Yeah, I mean, I'm just seeing on Statista, whether you trust that site, it's around 6% was the turnout.
Right, okay. But just going back to the whole thing about civil unrest and how they've imported all of these foreign fighting age men into this country. I was told, obviously I've no verification of this, I was told that there are apparently countermeasures in place being organised. Groups are being organised to counteract that possibility. So
let me show you. Go on. Sorry, you were in the
middle. Yeah. So I mean, there are apparently quite a large amount of. I've no idea what the details. This is just what I was told that because of the awareness of this possible threat, groups are being organised and trained to counteract such a thing.
Yeah, I dare say. And what if I've believed this for many years as a possibility. What if the Civil War, which they may or may not want, let's just put that out. No, I believe what will happen is that if we're in a state of civil war, civil conflict, we'll see some blue hats. We'll see the blue hats arriving.
Maybe
the blue The blue hats from the United Nations.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see. What
we-
you're saying. Sorry, right? Yeah. That would be that. Well, maybe. Yeah.
You don't think that's a possibility?
I don't.
United Nations love a civil war. They love a
Yeah,
civil war.
yeah.
NATO and UN love a civil war. It means they can get involved.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, these are all hypotheticals, aren't they? We can't really say anything for sure, but
Everything we've said about this is a hypothetical, of course, obviously.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we're just
as I say, if you pretend, so if we pretend that one person is 1%, so let's pretend that there's 100 people voting in that by-election. By what we've said so far, 60 of those people have already chose whether they're left or right. So that means 30 people are going to vote for Labour and 30 people are going to vote for Reform. However, Rupert Lowe is going to split the vote. So of that 30 that go into Reform, let's say 10 of those go to Restore. That means you've got 30 people voting for Labour, 20 people voting for Reform, and 10 people voting for Restore. But you're forgetting about the other 40 people that have never voted. He only has to get 20 of those 40, and he's destroyed them all, both of them.
So maybe even less than that. But hold on, 4D. You're forgetting about all the other parties. What about the Greens? The Greens are going to take a certain amount of the left-wing vote, and also so are the Lib Dems. So
his percentage goes down even further. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't take many of those non-voters, and maybe this is where the establishment have made their biggest blunder. They haven't realised that all they had to do was wake up the sleeping lion, because that sleeping lion is huge.
But they can't do that because that sleeping lion, the reason it's gone to sleep is because of their chosen narrative, their chosen agenda, which people do not want. That's why. So that they can't they can't use that to their advantage. They'd have to change everything about their narrative, their agenda to actually utilize.
I think that's why he might trounce them. Yeah, yeah.
Did the Conservatives lose the last election because of their policies and how wonderful they are, or because the electorate had turned against them after years and years of misrule and fuckery?
I don't know which one it was, though. I don't know which one it was, though.
Well, maybe it was a combination of. It was a combination, I reckon. It was partly people just got turned off from the Conservatives, said I'm not voting for them anymore because they've failed us. And the people who voted Labour as they always do. And so I think the Conservatives, it's rather than Labour gained votes, they might have gained a few, but I think it was more because the Conservatives lost votes.
Yeah.
And Reform weren't quite at the races. They weren't quite ready to come in and take enough votes for them to break through.
Yeah,
so
that's fair enough.
I think
yeah.
Whereas this time, I think Reform are ready to do that now. Although they're kind of they're screwing things up. They are not doing themselves any favors with the way they're behaving in certain areas, but yeah, they are a force now. They are actually a force. But the thing is about Reform is they have become accepted by the establishment, and that tells you all you need to know about them. Because the establishment is the problem. The problem isn't Labour, the Conservatives. The problem is the establishment. The problem is the system. And Reform are now accepted in the system. So that's all you need to know about them. Really. Yeah. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
And Restore are not. So Restore still have credibility.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fair enough.
I think by listening to that, whatever happens, it's really going to be interesting, and I think a lot of people are going to find it very interesting.
I think it's crucial. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fully behind Restore running in Makerfield. I think that they've got every right to do that, and it's going to be a bellwether. It's going to be whether they win or not. I don't think they will, but it's going to be a real good kind of see which way the wind's blowing and how they're progressing.
Well, we'll be able to see that, but it doesn't affect the events on the ground.
And even if not, like they've still achieved such an amazing thing in such a short amount of time. So we've still got till, hopefully, fingers crossed, we've got till 2029. I keep on thinking if me and Bronze can persuade Viv to vote, then I know we've got it in the bag. So if we can get Viv to vote by 2029, then as far as I'm concerned, it's in the bag.
Well, the only party I can conceivably see Viv voting for now is Restore. It's that's
no, the party I would vote for, and they're not going to ever get in, and this is why I'm not bothering. There are several parties. There's the Freedom Alliance, and there is also Heritage and possibly SDP as well.
Yeah, Heritage.
Right.
I mean, what's happened to them?
I think he's a good man. I think
he's a great man. David Curtin, I really like him, but they're just a non-entity, really, as far as.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
I mean, if there was a party that you would consider voting for that actually had a chance of getting in, I think it would be Restore.
Yes, it probably would be if I were to vote.
You surprised me that you didn't say UKIP, or what is it, Tenconi's lot? I'm surprised.
Yeah, Tenconi's lot. Yeah.
Because I'm like,
bit too right wing for you, if I would have thought UKIP.
Not really. No.
They're very Christian, see they? Yeah,
they are indeed. But I just think it's a bad brand, and we've got to look nowadays in this. You know, it's not what they're substantially for. It's the brand. You must remember, people aren't in Britain and most countries really are not that invested in politics, and they'll vote for brands. That's why people will vote for Labour, even when the Labour have got their boot on your head. They'll still vote for them if they are hardcore Labour. And UKIP have got a bit of a poisoned brand, really.
Another one of Nigel's, isn't it?
They just don't have reach. But
no,
they don't have reach. They're the same as Heritage. They're the same as the SDP. They're the same as you go to put your tick on the ballot, and they're never there. So how on earth are you what's the point of these parties?
I think
so do I. But if they're never on the ballot, what's the point?
No.
Really, what's the point?
Well, of course. Of course. And also people tactically vote, don't forget. And I do take your point about the potential for Restore to garner votes. And also there'll be an element of tactical voting. I don't know. I just don't know. It's all a bit up in the air at the moment. And I do take your point about Salvation. I don't trust polls until the exit polls. The exit polls are the only ones I really bother about. And that's the poll when you vote, you question people on the day. What did you vote for?
It seems that we're kind of 4D. Maybe you're a bit you kind of hoped rather than predicted. But I think me and Viv predict that Burnham's going to win, and 4D. I think you said you really hope that Restore win. Yeah, of course, I hope too. But do you think? Do all three of us think that Burnham's going to win?
No. I'll put my money where. No, I'll say I think. My scenario is going to happen. So no, I think Rupert Lowe might just scrape. It won't be trouncing him then, but I think he might just limp over.
Wow! I really hope you're right. That is that would be amazing.
It would be amazing. Yeah, it's a pipe dream, perhaps. I don't know.
It'd be metaphorically and literally incredible.
It will, yeah.
And then again, and also then they'd have to. I mean, we keep on saying they have to talk about him. They have to talk, but then they'd have to talk about him like they really would.
Yeah,
they already are. Though. They already are. This is a thing. They already are talking about. And they certainly didn't want to do that. I'm sure. Especially Reform. Reform are just obsessed with him now. Obsessed with Restore, and they're just completely throwing their toys out the pram about it.
Yeah.
And somebody who was talking about it said, if I was the Reform candidate, that guy who actually seems like a really sound guy, I would be saying to them, hey, stop talking about him and start talking about me.
Yeah. The Reform candidate's a woman.
No, he's a plumber. The Restore candidate's a woman.
Oh, the Restore candidate. Yeah. The Restore candidate is,
yeah.
Oh, is it the guy that's that said some fruity things on the internet.
Everyone said fruity things on the internet, for God's sake.
Except
No,
me.
but there's the guy that I was laughing my head off yesterday about the guy that
years
wants.
ago. It was years
Yeah,
ago. He reposted
yeah.
or liked something, which is, it's just all this usual crap.
It's bollocks, isn't it?
I'm an ex-squaddy, and I've got to say, like, well, it doesn't matter that I'm an ex-squad. We talk, discuss. I've said way worse than that I want to do to people. Doesn't mean that's what he wants to do. I just want to point out to ladies, like, us men have the most disgusting, random, perverted conversations when we're with other men. You have no idea what we talk about. Doesn't mean we want to do anything.
Speak for yourself, mate. Speak for yourself, mate.
I've heard you too. I've heard you too.
all you have to do is listen to this podcast called Storm in a Teacup. 3 blokes talking. Yeah.
What's that, Viv?
Yeah.
And
check it out, man.
And do you know what, guys? We haven't done the bookshelf or anything, and it's already 10 o'clock again. I wanted to talk about the UFO second stuff coming out. I wanted to talk about Crowborough. We've just been, it's good. It's always good.
So listen, okay, so we'll probably have to give all that lot a miss again this week. I was going to. But with regards to last word on Makerfield, when is the election? Is it a month or something like that? To the election?
The 18th of June on a Thursday.
18th of June, right.
Is it on a Thursday?
I believe so. Most of them are.
Good, so we can talk about it on that. Oh, that'd be wicked.
As it's happening. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be very cool. Yeah. Excellent. Oh, well, to our 3 listeners, you can look forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah,
we will be a bit early because obviously no results will be in until the following day. But we don't want to spend the whole conversation talking about that like we have this evening, I guess. So
no, I know, but it's pretty interesting. I do believe it's really quite important.
I mean, since when did British politics become so interesting? Incredible.
Yeah.
Well, it becomes interesting with the entry of new parties.
Yeah, I mean, American politics has been the thing which has kind of held my attention for the last few years, but and there's still plenty of interesting stuff going on in the USA, but it's just everything's being kind of eclipsed by what's happening here at the moment for us. So, apologies to our American listeners for our lack of commentary. Maybe it might be you might be relieved that we're not talking about that. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, but next the by-election is essentially, it is on the 18th of June, which is a Thursday, which is in 1, 2, 3 weeks' time.
3 weeks. 3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks.
Okay, time. 3 weeks.
3 weeks from today, yeah.
Yeah, be here before you know it. Okay, so so what is there anything you want to quickly squeeze in before I kind of crucify you with my jokes?
I just very, very quickly just wanted to say that the second batch of the UFO stuff had come out. They were a little bit more juicy than the first. And again, I think I said it last. I think slowly but surely this is going to get juicier and juicier. I'm sure next week or the week after or whatever we'll talk about it. But there was loads going on.
Sure.
Drip, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Yep. And in very important news, apart from the bookshelf, I'm ordering another bookshelf.
A third. Is your second one still needs to be assembled, Viv, or have you managed to tackle that as yet?
I've done it. The one I'm about to order is going to be the 5th.
Oh my! You've just gone from books to bookshelves. You've got a problem hoarding, haven't you?
Yeah, it's going to be terrible. 4D, terrible.
Oh, we'll have to rename the segment Viv's bookshelf.
Yeah.
Bookshelf.
Well, they're not even book. They are bookshelves in a sense, but they're within bookcases. So I've not got shelves fixed to the wall. They are actual freestanding cases, and I've ordered another one.
Okay, now you're just trying to confuse everyone. You're changing. You're using words. You're using words to try and obfuscate.
What I want to know is how you're organising your books. Is it alphabetically, size, colour? People have different ways.
I think I will organise them by genre, 4D.
Genre, nice.
Genre,
Nice.
yes.
That is a very tough one because you're going to get overlaps, Viv. You do know that. I'm sure you know that.
I'll find a way around that. I don't know.
I know exactly what you do.
I just jam them on the shelves. What do you think I should do?
I know what you're going to do. If you find a book which actually falls in between two genres, all you're going to do is buy a second copy so it can fit into both genres.
yeah.
Of course. Yeah, what is it, psychology or is it a novel? Or is it both? Oh, I see. Gets on the internet. Yeah, no, I'm not that far gone, honestly. But I wouldn't mind opening a bookshop, but the business rates are mental. I'll have to pretend to be Turkish or Romanian. You know,
this is why you need to vote for Restore, Viv, because those business rates are just going to come right down if you get Restore in charge. Even Reform, I think that is probably going to help.
Yeah. Yep. I mean,
anyway.
Yeah. No, it's interesting, but let's move on, gentlemen.
Yeah, go on. Give us some jokes to cheer us up from that devastating chat we've just had.
All right. Okay. My wife asked me, "Do you think our kids are spoiled?" I said, "No, I think they're supposed to smell like that." I was going to tell a joke about procrastination, but I think I'll do it later.
Too obvious to laugh. That was too obvious.
Well, I was going to tell a joke about construction, but I'm still working on it.
All right.
Yeah, that's good, but I've heard it.
Yeah. I saw a wino eating some grapes. I said to him, "Man, you have to wait."
Oh, yes. Can I slip a quick one in? What did the grapes say when someone trod on it?
It let out a little whine.
Yeah, it didn't say anything. It let out a little whine. Thank you. Yeah, well. Anyway, continue, please, sir.
Okay. A snake walks into a bar. The bartender says, "How'd you do that?"
Yes. You have to think about that one.
Good.
Did you know, 4D, did you know that Yoda doesn't believe in the existence of the triangle? Only the do angle and the do not angle. There is no triangle. I just watched a pirated movie. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd have to give it 3.1415927. I-rated movie? Yeah, no? Okay, never mind.
Yep.
I asked my dog, what's two minus two? He said nothing.
A dog.
What do you call
yeah. Okay, mate, got that.
What do you call a guy with no shins?
No
Neil.
shit. Neil. Oh, yeah.
Ooh, good effort, but no. Tony. Tony. Yeah. Okay. Neil was a good effort.
Yeah. Thank you. What do you call a woman with no feet?
Don't know.
Denise.
Oh yeah.
What do you call a guy in a cage with two lions?
Fucking scared.
Yeah.
Claude.
Claude, yeah.
What do you call a paper airplane that doesn't fly? Stationary. Two guys walk into a bar. The third guy ducks. I can always tell when someone is lying just by looking at them. I can also tell when they're standing up too. And finally, why was the little drop of ink crying? Because his dad was in the pen and he didn't know how long the sentence was.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. That's your lot.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, on that happy note, yeah.
I'm here every week.
Yeah. don't you'll be putting people off with.
No.
We've only got a few people who listen anyway. You're not doing us any favors there.
Yeah, tell your friends.
Yeah, give us a like. Yeah. Well, we're supposed to say all that stuff. Give us a like, subscribe, and tell your friends.
Smash the
all that.
thumbs up or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, whatever. Yeah.
You have to get that klaxon as well.
Well, or you just talk to your mate that we didn't have time to talk about, who had that great conversation with Wilsey that's gone on the internet. We need to get him over. That'll get us some views.
He's not my mate.
Oh, that guy would talk us to death. Jeez, he would be non-stop. We wouldn't be able to get a word in.
I think he'd fit in really well. That's kind of what we do.
Yeah, but we do leave space for other people to talk. But I must admit, he's not my mate. I don't think I've ever been in conversation or rather exchanged messages with him on Substack. But I do follow him. I've realised that I followed him for a while. Yeah. He was
right.
I don't think we're in conversation at all. We don't have a convo or exchange messages, but he is incredibly fluid. I was thinking, my God, most people, and even people in my job, intersperse the sentences with and okay, and all those things. That means it gives you a quick time to think. This was a flow, man. A flow.
I mean, he was as articulated as a lorry, as they say.
Yeah.
He did. No, he obviously had all of his points very well defined in his head. He knew exactly what he wanted to say. He's got everything sorted out. So he doesn't say, like I just did. Everything was just bomb, and most of it made sense. I didn't agree with him on everything. I think he was a little bit blinkered on the kind of global geopolitical side of things, but with regards to what he said about the state of this country, he was spot on.
And I love the way his son was kind of smiling in the background. His son was not like most kids, bored.
What patience? What patience his son had. He wasn't like, Dad, can we go now? He was just hovering around for about an hour, wasn't he?
Just looking up and smiling a bit. I mean, my God, the kid's about 10 or something, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, if that's his dad, he'll have a wealth of knowledge at his disposal. Because that guy, as you said, he just flowed. It was almost like someone had thrown the microphone in his face, and he took a deep breath and thought, "At last, now I'm going to speak." And it was just like he waited 50 years for that.
I know he's changed his Substack profile to that one with the Willsey's microphone, the Vox Populi.
Yeah.
Oh, good for him. Yeah, good for him. I bet he's got a lot more subscribers now.
He's got bloody loads, I bet.
Just for anybody who doesn't know who the hell we're talking about, it's a guy called Frank Wright on Substack. And he did, if you look up Vox Populi on YouTube, he did a little interview. He was out canvassing for Restore Britain was it Makersfield? And he's a guy with a straw hat, and he did an interview with him, and the guy was so good, he was just for about half an hour he was just rabbiting on. Vox Populi on YouTube, or Frank Wright, WRIGHT, on Substack. If anybody's interested in knowing who we're talking about.
Lovely, thanks for that. Well, look, we're 14 minutes over my toilet time, so I am going to say goodbye and stop the recording.
It's Wardy's potty time. We can't get into that.
No.
Okay.
Right. See you later on, guys.
All right. Take care.
Next one.
All right. All the best.
go for
Right, so yeah, maybe the weekend, 12th to the 14th, or the 19th to the 21st of June. One of those two.
Yeah, perfect. On the third
Depending on how popular
Saturday,
the details has to be.
yeah, and we'll see how it's going. On the 13th is Trooping the Colour. On the 20th is the King's birthday, and then the 21st is Father's Day.
Is it? Okay. Not that that has any real makes any difference to our plans, but yeah.
No.
No, it makes no difference whatsoever.
I can't come on the King's birthday. I can't do that, guys. Sorry.
I can't
Absolute
disrespect.
no.
I won't be disrespecting King's sausage fingers.
I've got to put up the bunting. You know, and and go out and celebrate in the street at the street party with all my British people who live round near me, who are going to be celebrating it as well.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. It might be his funeral before that. Who knows? And on that bombshell.